be the best. I want to be the best, simple and plain. That's why I play the game. And to be the best, you have to win. And that's what drives me.
What's up, you guys? This is Mr. Hamilton again. Hope everybody's being safe on this absence from school and practicing social distancing. But today I want to kind of go over some of the reform movements that we began to talk about. We left off on women's suffrage movement. So I'm going to start today actually with the temperance and the educational reform movement of the 19th century. And we'll go through the other reform movements in the next few videos. Here we go. So the first reform movement that we have is the Second Great Awakening. That's Reagan, you guys. Say hey, Reagan. All right. And this is a religious revival movement where citizens are starting to feel closer to God. They're feeling like that the spiritual world is more important than the physical. This is an idea of transcendentalism. Okay. The temperance movement is also a reform movement. Remember, reform means to change, where women are fighting to end the consumption of alcohol. All right. Alcohol consumption at this time has caused great pain in the household. They use propaganda images like this to really illustrate how alcohol consumption was hurting the American homes. You have a woman here holding a baby. She has a little girl down here, a little boy here, and the snake is kind of representing the alcohol. All right, he's trying to bite her, hurt the family. He's coiled around the sun, and you got a liquor store in the background. It's just illustrating how bad alcohol consumption hurt families. So groups push for total prohibition. Prohibition means they want to completely end it, eradicate it, no more drinking, make it illegal. All right. So you have propaganda also like this: lips that touch liquor shall not touch ours. All right. So women were trying to remove themselves. So quick check. All right. You can do this on a blank sheet of paper if you like. And always remember to cite evidence using the ACE strategy. All right. So use the graph to answer the following question: how effective was the pre-Civil War temperance movement? So how effective was it? Civil War, 1830, 40, 50, 60, 1860, the Civil War kicks off, and you see a dramatic drop in alcohol consumption, all right, compared to what it was before. All right. So you see alcohol consumption is not as much after the Civil War. It drops. And during this time, you have the temperance movement at its highest peak, where people are promoting the end of it. And then you see a drop. What does that mean? I don't know. Here we go. Second, another quick check. Use the following words to write 3 to 4 sentences that summarize what you learned. Second Great Awakening, good deeds, transcendentalism, thorough, temperance, alcohol, social issues. I want you to use those words to form a sentence that summarizes the section, the temperance movement, the Second Great Awakening. All right, here we go. Education reform, the second reform we're going to focus on today. So you have, at this time in the 19th century, 1800s, you don't have a universal systematic approach to education. There's no such thing as like public schools at this time. All right, so parents were considered primary educators. Schools was costly and religious based, and families relied on the churches and churches for additional learning, right? You have a gentleman by the name of Horace Mann, who was like the lead reformer at this time for education. He actually believed that informed citizens were needed for our Republican government to thrive. He believed that promoting public schools is the only way to equalize society. All right, that is so true. With education, he felt like that you could not be poor if you were educated. All right, not permanently anyway. You would always have a leg up and a way to get out of that situation. So despite reformist efforts, public school conditions were poor. This is an example in this picture of an early public school. You might have kindergarten through 12th grade taught in that one school, and that one room as well. You got a chalkboard there, no Promethean boards, no Chromebooks. All right, things are completely different at this time. Teachers were poorly paid and often poorly prepared. Kids that went beyond the elementary grades went to private academies. Public schools did not become well established until later on, after the Civil War. So quick check. What did Horace Mann believe was the only way, all right, to equally educate and inform all citizens of the United States? I want you to refer back to the information we talked about before this. I just want to touch on these two reform movements. We're going to go through the others in the next few days and next few videos. So use those quick checks, you guys, as a way to assess your learning. You can always stop and go back to the beginning of the video to find evidence to support your claims. Always use the ACE strategy. Once again, I hope everyone is being safe. Miss you guys. Can't wait to see you again when school starts back up. And always remember,